Hello everybody. I'm currently outside Leinster House at the moment, and as you can see, there's quite a crowd growing at the moment, and the reason why we're here today is it's called March for Innocence, and where we're protesting the recent appointment of Roderick O'Gorman as the Minister for Children. And the primary reason as to why we're opposing his appointment is because he has been very heavily linked to Peter Tatchell, who has very strong paedophilic inclinations, which he has demonstrated both through his literature and even on his most recent podcast with Niall Boylan. And I guess the reason why we're out here today is more so just to guarantee the protection of our children. They're trying to implement very hardcore, strong LGBT education programs into our schools, which will unfortunately, I think, unnecessarily cause gender confusion within children. And I just remember when I was a young child that when I was growing up, there's various things that I wanted to be. I wanted to be Superman, I wanted to be Batman, I wanted to be Spider-Man, I wanted to be Robin Hood. But the whole thought of me potentially being a girl, that never crossed my mind. However, I think now the fact that they're trying to push such very heavily leftist ideological LGBT education on our children is it won't create the so-called tolerance that they're actually aiming for, but will actually more so cause potentially more children to fear towards the LGBT community, which I don't think is very fair. So it's going to come to a situation of where children are now going to be educated in school and potentially coming out and labeling themselves as being the opposite sex or just having very heavy gender confusion. And even in the most recent interview that Peter Tatchell had with Niall Boylan, the one thing that Peter Tatchell actually confirmed was that he didn't realise that he was gay until he's 17 years old. So that just says it in itself that when it comes to sexual orientation and trying to have self-discovery or whatever you want to call it, that you do have to have a certain level of maturity, because it is a very adult decision to make. So that's the primary reason why we're out here protesting today, because the government is an investigation into the matter. They're pushing it off. If people raise issue against the fact of his appointment, they're immediately being called homophobes. And that's not how this should really operate. But thanks very much for watching. There's just multiple different speakers from various different parties, such as the National Party, Irish Freedom Party. I think John Connors is going to be making a speech today. So it's a very it's an issue which does affect an awful lot of people, and it's an issue which an awful lot of people are genuinely concerned and very worried about. But thanks very much, and I'll try to keep you up to date. Best luck, bye.